if someone threw that thing and like, first of all, the bounce that thing had, if that smacked someone in the face, you know that that's going to be plastered everywhere. And if it didn't hit, if it came from the top,
even feel good about that. Sophie Cunningham just got slapped with another $1,500 fine from the WNBA, and honestly, she doesn't give a damn. While most players would shut up and pay quietly, Sophie doubled down and spilled even more tea on her podcast. We're talking about DeWanna Bonner ghosting her teammates, referees being terrible at their jobs, and yes, we have to talk about the time Sophie became the voice of reason during the league's most embarrassing security failure. Look, when you've got a player willing to lose money just to tell the truth about what's really happening in the WNBA, you pay attention. Sophie isn't holding back on anything. Not the players who act unprofessionally, not the refs who can't make consistent calls, and definitely not the league office that keeps finding her for speaking her mind.
Dude, I'm thinking about, like, if it gets, like, I just know how things go viral now, and I just know if that thing, like, even came from, like, the rafters or bounced and just slapped me right in the face, that would be what I'd be known for life.
This isn't your typical player podcast where everything is sanitized and boring. Sophie is telling us exactly what happened when a Hall of Fame player left her teammates hanging, exactly what it's like to get fined for calling out bad officiating, and exactly why she thinks Paige Bueckers is about to take over the league. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every single detail. So here's the deal with Sophie Cunningham. She started this podcast with Wes Wilson, and from day one, it was obvious she wasn't going to play it safe. Most WNBA players stick to talking about basketball and maybe some lifestyle stuff. Sophie, she's out here talking about everything. Teammate drama, referee problems, league fines, and apparently whatever weird security issues pop up. The first red flag for the league should have been when Sophie got her initial fine, $1,500 for criticizing the refs. Most players would take the hit, apologize, and move on, not Sophie.
Dude, and it literally, like, pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
She kept the podcast going and started sharing even more behind-the-scenes stories. And look, this isn't some bench player looking for attention. Sophie has played for championship teams, she knows how professional organizations should work, and she's got the credibility to call out problems when she sees them. But here's what makes this even more significant. Sophie chose podcasting as her truth-telling platform because she was tired of watching the same problems happen over and over with nobody speaking up. While other veterans stay quiet to protect relationships, Sophie decided someone needed to be the voice fans never get to hear. If you're enjoying this level of honest insider access to the WNBA, hit that like button because Sophie's just getting started and the stories get crazier from here.
Oh, good. No, we really are. Like, we're in a great rhythm. Offensively, we're, like, killing it. Everyone's kind of in their groove, which is really nice. Everyone knows their roles, and they're killing their roles. Defensively, we've been playing pretty good, but we played some, like, tough teams. Like, these aren't just, like, wins from teams at the bottom of the pack. Like, it's big wins for us.
Let me break down what Sophie revealed about DeWanna Bonner's exit from the Indiana Fever, because this is brutal. Sophie played with Bonner in both Phoenix and Indiana, so she knows exactly how this went down. According to Sophie, Bonner was never happy in Indiana from the start. Fair enough, not every player fits everywhere. But here's where it gets nasty. When Bonner decided she wanted out, she just disappeared. No team meeting, no explanation to her teammates, not even a text message. Was there explanation when it happened? No, not even privately, Sophie said on her podcast. Think about that. You've got a Hall of Fame player who's supposed to be a veteran leader, and she just ghosts her team. Her teammates had no idea what was happening, while management was quietly shopping her around.
Honestly, she is speaking about the DeWanna Bonner situation, and it's not looking good for DeWanna Bonner. It's not looking good at all for DeWanna Bonner in this situation, because let's be completely honest here.
Picture this from the team's perspective. You've got Caitlin Clark trying to turn this franchise around, Kelsey Mitchell putting up great numbers, all these players grinding every day, and one of their veteran leaders just checks out without saying anything. That's not just unprofessional, it's cold. And if you think Sophie's honesty about DeWanna Bonner was surprising, wait until you hear how she dealt with one of the strangest incidents in sports history. When fans started throwing sex toys onto WNBA courts during games while everyone else stayed quiet and hoped it would go away, Sophie stepped up with a tweet that went viral. Stop throwing dildos on the court. We could get hurt. Now look, this sounds funny, but Sophie was completely serious about the safety issue.
Sophie Cunningham is obviously a player for the Fever. And DeWanna Bonner is somebody who It seemed like from the outside looking in that she just quit on the team.
She broke it down with simple logic. These things bounce, they're hard, and if one hits a player in the face during a live TV broadcast, it's going to be everywhere. Her own parents started texting her, "Watch out for flying dildos tonight," before games. But here's what makes this even crazier. There were 3 separate incidents, all with green objects, and somehow these were getting past arena security. Sophie's thinking practically, how are these even getting in? What happens if someone gets seriously hurt? Meanwhile, the league is just hoping nobody talks about it. Sophie turned the league's most embarrassing security problem into a real conversation about player safety. Only she could handle something this ridiculous with both humor and genuine concern for her fellow players. But Sophie wasn't done talking about DeWanna's exit. She went deeper into what this kind of behavior does to team chemistry. And her take is really eye-opening. She said DeWanna deserved to be happy and get respect as a veteran, but there's still a right way and wrong way to handle leaving.
Okay, first look at Paige Bueckers.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
I love her.
Do you have a relationship off the court at all? Or do you just love her as a b-ball player?
No, I think I did. Well, no, I don't really have a relationship with her off the court at all, but I just love her vibe.
I also think that if you're going to leave, you're going to have to expect getting booed, Sophie said, talking about when Bonner came back to Indianapolis with Phoenix. And fans absolutely destroyed Bonner with boos that night. Now we know exactly why. This wasn't just about switching teams. Sophie broke it down to the basics. Send a text to your teammates. Send a text and be like, "Hey, love you guys." Or you don't even have to say love you guys. Just like, "Hey, sorry this didn't work out. Good luck." We're talking about professional athletes making good money, and the bar was literally just sending a text. That's how low the bar was, and DeWanna Bonner couldn't even do that. When you put it like that, it's pretty shocking.
In her energy. I just think that she is a good freaking human, and she's a great basketball player, but she really is. She's just a great teammate, and she's a phenomenal leader, and I am all for that. I think she's just, and I know a lot of people, she's probably going to get Rookie of the Year, as she should.
Now, while Sophie was sharing all these behind-the-scenes details, she was also dealing with getting fined by the league. And the way they handled it is almost funny. Sophie got hit with $1,500 for her comments about bad officiating. But the league didn't even contact her directly. They called the team's general manager, who then had to pull Sophie aside in front of everyone and break the news. She pulls me aside and she goes, "Come here, Sophie, I have to talk to you." And this was in front of everybody. And I was like, "What did I do now?" And she just smiled and she goes, "Hey, they're going to fine you again." It's like getting called to the principal's office in high school. But here's the thing about Sophie. She's not backing down. She's not apologizing. She's treating these fines like badges of honor because she believes fans deserve better officiating. And she's willing to pay for speaking up about it. What Sophie might not fully realize is that her willingness to talk openly about everything is changing how WNBA players deal with media and fans. For years, we've gotten nothing but boring press conferences and careful social media posts. Now we have a veteran player willing to talk about teammate drama, league fines, bad officiating, and even weird security problems. And here's what makes Sophie truly unique. When the Bonner situation happened, other veterans who knew the truth stayed completely silent. When fans were throwing objects on courts, other players ignored it. When officiating gets terrible, most players just take the fines and shut up. Sophie is literally the only veteran willing to sacrifice money and potentially damage league relationships just to give fans the real story. The league clearly isn't happy about it. That $1,500 fine wasn't just about referee criticism. It was a warning. The league is basically saying, we don't want players going on podcasts and telling fans what really happens. But Sophie's response has been, "Find me all you want, I'm still going to tell the truth." The sex toy incident is actually a perfect example. The league wanted this story to disappear, wanted everyone to pretend it never happened. But Sophie made it into a real conversation about player safety and security problems. She turned an embarrassing moment into a teaching moment about protecting athletes. And fans are loving it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as
You guys played at Iowa.
Sophie's podcast isn't just creating controversy, it's getting massive engagement. People want this kind of insider access. They want to know what really happens in locker rooms, why certain players succeed and others don't, and apparently they want someone to address the league's most ridiculous problems with common sense. Sophie also had some really smart things to say about Paige Bueckers that are going to change how people see this rookie class. She didn't just praise Paige's basketball skills. She talked about her leadership, her basketball IQ, and why she thinks Paige will win Rookie of the Year. "I think she's probably going to get Rookie of the Year, as she should," Sophie said without hesitation. But what was really interesting was how Sophie broke down Paige's game from a veteran's perspective. She talked about how Paige can get to her mid-range shot whenever she wants, how she's taller than people expect, and how her basketball instincts are already at an elite level. This isn't just random praise. This is coming from a veteran who's played against the best players in the world, who's won championships, who knows what separates good players from great ones. Sophie has faced every type of guard in this league, and when she says Paige is different, that carries serious weight. But what really stood out was Sophie talking about their on-court conversations during games. She mentioned how Paige actually admitted to traveling on a play where she scored, showing incredible honesty and self-awareness. Sophie also noted how Paige was genuinely friendly during competitive moments, even suggesting the refs should review calls that went against Sophie's team. That kind of sportsmanship combined with elite talent is exactly why Sophie believes Paige has generational potential, not just as a player, but as someone who could help elevate the entire league's culture. So here we are, watching Sophie Cunningham navigate this new world where WNBA players are finally starting to speak honestly about their experiences. The results are fascinating. She's getting fined by the league for being too honest about officiating, but she's also giving fans the most authentic insider perspective we've ever gotten. The DeWanna Bonner story isn't just gossip. It's a look into how professional teams actually work when veteran leadership breaks down. It explains why some teams struggle with chemistry, why certain player departures create more drama than others, and why fans sometimes react so strongly when players leave.
But I just think, like, she's taller than I am. We played her 3 times, and the way she just gets to her mid-range is just insane. Like, I don't know, you cut her off, and she just has so much in her
She's got a bag.
that, like, no, she legit has a bag.
Sophie's willingness to call out unprofessional behavior, even from a Hall of Fame player, shows she's not protecting anyone's reputation over the truth. Her practical approach to even the most bizarre league problems, like objects being thrown on the court, shows she's thinking about player safety and league credibility when others just want problems to go away. And her analysis of rookies like Paige Bueckers gives us insights we'd never get from traditional media interviews. When Sophie breaks down Paige's game, she's giving us the perspective of someone who's actually played against her, someone who understands what it takes to succeed at the highest level. The bigger question is what this means for how the WNBA relates to its players and fans. Sophie isn't the only player starting to speak more openly. We're seeing athletes who understand that being authentic connects with audiences in ways that corporate speak never will. The league can keep finding players for honest commentary about officiating. They can try to control stories about team chemistry and veteran behavior. They can hope embarrassing incidents just fade away, but they can't stop the shift toward more transparency, more authentic player voices, and more real conversations about what actually happens in professional women's basketball. Sophie Cunningham just opened a door that's not closing. Other players are watching, seeing that fans respond positively to honesty and insider perspectives. The era of carefully managed player personas might be ending, and that's probably the best thing that could happen to the WNBA. Because fans don't just want to watch great basketball. They want to understand the human stories behind the game. They want to know what drives these athletes, how they handle problems, what really happens when cameras aren't rolling, and yes, even how they deal with the most ridiculous situations that somehow become real concerns. Sophie Cunningham is giving them exactly that, one podcast episode at a time. Whether she's exposing unprofessional behavior from veterans, calling out league officiating, addressing bizarre security problems, or breaking down rookie talent, she's doing it with the same unfiltered honesty that's made her must-listen content for WNBA fans. The league might not love it, but the fans absolutely do. And in a league that's still fighting for mainstream attention and respect, maybe having someone willing to address every issue head-on, no matter how serious or ridiculous, is exactly what the WNBA needs right now. If you made it this far, drop a microphone emoji in the comments, because Sophie's podcast is just getting started, and something tells me she's got a lot more truth to tell. Don't forget to subscribe for more WNBA insider coverage, and I'll see you in the next one.